Okay. Hey, Lindy.
Hi.
Okay. Hi. Thanks for coming on here and sharing your experience with coaching. So tell me what changed in your life that you were like, okay, it's time to hire a life coach.
So I had been feeling this way for a while, but I had a second child and she was almost one. And I feel like the first year is just always a funk, but I was coming out of that and I felt like I just wasn't coming out of it. And I was just frustrated with how I was feeling and how I was acting and how I was parenting and how I was as a partner. I was really frustrated in my relationship. Um, and so I just was like, something needs to change. And I need someone to help me make that change.
Yeah. So what drew you in with coaching?
So I even heard about coaching because of a podcast. I love listening to podcasts. And I was just listening to a random one and they were talking about life coaches. And it was something I had never really heard of. I was familiar with therapy and I thought that that might be an option for me. It was something I was considering. But when they were talking about life coaching, I just thought this might be more of a fit for me. And so then I started looking more into it. And then I found you and I was looking through all the coaches and I was like, she just seems great. I want to be friends with her. So I just thought we might vibe. So I took the plunge. I was like nervous, right? It was
Yeah.
kind of like a vulnerable thing, right? To reach out and be like, hey, I want you to help me.
Yeah. What were some of the things that made you hesitant to reach out or even to then it's one thing to reach out, but then to also sign up to be get coached is a whole
Yes.
nother thing. So what made you hesitant?
So honestly, I think a lot of time I feel like a lot of people will go to therapy and go to therapy all their lives.
Mhm.
And they'll have to search around and find the right therapist. And I
Yeah.
was hesitant to reach out because I was like, I don't want to spend time and money connecting with somebody, learning from somebody, and it not working, and then going to the next person and the next person. And so that was something I was really hesitant about. I don't even know how to explain it. It was just the fear of having to start the process over again and again to find someone that was a fit
Yeah.
and commit all that time. And I was like, I will commit the time and I will do the work if
Mhm.
it's going to work. Which
Yes.
there's no guarantee, but if it's going to be a right fit. And so I was hesitant to start down a journey with someone and then have to like switch or have it not work and then have spent all that time and money on nothing.
Yes. And the amazing thing about coaching is that you make it work, right? Like it's not like I'm giving you the right perfect advice. It's kind of
Exactly.
like I'm teaching you how to get the results you want. So you kind of make it work. Was that your experience with coaching?
Totally. Which is why I feel like I was so drawn to coaching and why I feel like it's worked so well for me because that's so true. People like their therapist if they're a good fit for them. And you've been a great fit for me, but it's also because you're teaching me something that someone else could have taught me as well.
Mhm.
Okay, I'm trying to figure out how to word this. Yes, it wasn't like I'm going to have to always come to you because your advice is what I have to rely on. You gave me tools so that I can come to myself and try to make decisions on my
Yes.
own. So I love that about coaching. That was definitely because that was one of my biggest fears was like, how am I going to find the right therapists and make sure that I don't have to start this journey over again? Life coaching was perfect for that because it was getting the right tools as opposed to the right person that I would have to have in my life forever.
Yes. And I've seen that be a common fear where people are like, I don't want to get someone that's going to give me advice that I don't want to hear.
Yeah.
Like, you know what
Yeah.
I mean?
Yeah.
Which is why I think a lot of people look for an LDS coach because they're like, oh, well, then they won't give me advice that's contrary to what I believe. But I've also noticed people who are having a crisis of faith or struggling, they're afraid, oh, they're going to tell me to believe and feel this.
Yes.
And it's not like that, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Completely. I was worried about that. It just being another, well, just have a positive attitude
Mm,
kind of thing. Well, if you just looked on the bright side,
yeah.
and that's not what it was. And I didn't need that. I was like, that hasn't worked for me. I need something a little bit deeper than that.
Yeah. So why did you choose coaching instead of therapy?
I've been thinking about this because I've been telling my friends that I've been doing life coaching sessions and your program and watching your videos. And I Marco Polo my friends a lot. And I'll be like, you guys, on this video I just watched from Emily, this and this and this. And I'll like tell them, they know your name. And one of them asked, she said, what is the difference, or why coaching over therapy? She literally asked me that. And I was thinking about it, and I feel like therapy is great and it has a great place, especially with trauma or traumatic
Mhm.
experiences or life situations that need to be worked through. And I didn't feel like that. I don't feel like I had a traumatic event that I needed to work through. It was just life. I was
Yeah.
struggling with how to just manage my emotions and manage life. And so I needed someone to teach me
Mhm.
and coach me rather than work with me and dig up things or kind of try to figure out why things are a certain way. And I remember in one session, I think I was talking about like needing validation. And I was like, why do I need so much validation? And you were like, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter why or how you got to be that way. You do. So let's work on it now, move forward. And so I look at therapy as doing a lot of back work and
Mhm.
healing a lot of past, which is great. But I
Right.
needed something present and going forward and
Mhm.
more teaching me and coaching me how to live my life.
Yes. Okay. Me too. I felt like coaching, I didn't have that either. Like I didn't have past trauma. I didn't have old issues to work toward. And I kind of had an inkling that it didn't really matter. Like I used to think, I don't know if I had depression and that's what made life hard, or if life was hard and then I got depression because it was so hard and I kind of just stayed there.
Uh-huh.
But I was also like, it doesn't really matter. I just want to feel better now. Like I don't really care, you know. And it's not that
Yeah.
we don't do thought work about the past,
Yeah.
right? But that's about our thoughts now about the past, not what happened in your past that made you that way. And for most of life circumstances, it's not really necessary to know, you know, this came from your mom or this belief came from your bishop growing up. It doesn't really matter. Is it serving you now and do you want to keep believing it, right? Okay. Um, what are some of the results that you or like physical results or changes in your relationships, marriage, money, life that you saw come from coaching?
So, like I said, two of my biggest things were parenting and my relationship with my spouse. And so it wasn't right away, but it has really even just given me the tools to be able to talk to my spouse better. And I'll say things like, I am really trying to do this better. I'm really working on this, or I'm I'm realizing that these are my thoughts and these are my feelings. And so sometimes I'll just explain it to him and it
Mhm.
doesn't fix the problem, but at least helps me communicate better with him. And then he'll say, oh, okay, that's interesting. And then we can talk about things. So it's given us the tools, I think, to be able to communicate a lot better, which was a really big issue. Um, I feel like I've seen a lot of changes in myself, and I have one more session left with you. And I actually think I'm going to either have my husband jump on with me
Mhm.
or gift it to him completely because he hears me say, like, well, Emily's teaching me this and this and this. And I think it would be really great, especially as a support on my journey, but then also like starting his own. And I'm like, maybe he starts the whole program. Maybe it will
Mhm.
be limitless male.
That's right. I do have a lot of male clients. It's so interesting,
Okay.
mostly because their wives will then the
Yeah.
husbands will see the wives doing so well and they'll be like, well, I'll try it. And it's
Yeah.
it's kind of awesome when you're on the same page as your spouse.
Yes. So I
Yeah.
think it has been great, me just doing it. I think it will
Mhm.
just be an added bonus having us both on the same page, and then potentially him learning more going forward just for his own benefit.
Yes. So how did you see it affect your parenting?
I think one of my favorite things, like one of my favorite changes I've seen in myself is that I don't necessarily do things differently, but my why is different. Like
Mm,
I will do things out of a place of, because this is what I want to do and this is how I want to do it, instead of allowing myself cave to the pressure of this is how it should be, or this is how I think it should be, or this is what someone else tells
mm,
me how it should be or how I should parent. And so
mhm,
I think it's just brought a little bit more confidence, maybe just self-confidence or the ability to make decisions in my parenting a little bit more clearly and try to figure out, okay, and separate this is what I'm thinking and feeling versus the situation. And then I'm able to
mm.
reconcile it and decide how I want to parent rather than just being in the moment and the chaos and just being so frustrated. So
Yeah.
Um,
It feels a little sticky and chaotic when you're trying to parent to make your kids turn out or feel a certain way. That's what
yeah.
feels like that sticky, like string all tangled. And you're like, I don't know because I don't know what's working.
Yes. And I
Right.
felt that mostly with my husband as well, though, that idea of
Mm,
I'm trying not to be in the relationship, trying to make him feel a certain way or do certain things.
mhm,
And I have really learned that not only is that not my role, it doesn't work. And so
mhm,
that's been one of the big things in our relationship is I can't do things trying to like mitigate the situation or make him feel a certain way. And
mm.
that's been really eye-opening to me.
Okay. I love that. Okay. 2 more questions.
Okay.
What would you say were your top 3 emotions before coaching? And then what are your top 3 emotions after coaching?
I don't know if I can come up with three, but I know frustration was really high. I was frustrated
Mhm,
with myself and how I was doing things. And that was just not productive.
mhm,
It was just very, I felt very stuck. So frustrated, stuck, and maybe foggy, like just a little bit confused.
mhm.
And so after just going along with those ones, I felt a lot more clarity. And like I was saying, and being able to make decisions, why I was making decisions, if that was the decision I really wanted to make or not. So a lot more clarity, calm. I would say I feel a lot more calm, which I think I needed, and contentment.
So good, right? That switch is so awesome. Oh my gosh, you did such good work. Okay. My final question is what would you say to anybody who is like, it's a lot of money. I don't know her, like who is considering getting coached or they can see the value in it, but they're afraid.
I would say do it.
Mhm.
100%. It has been worth my time and my money. I'm gonna probably get emotional. It has been really life changing. And what I love about it is that it's gonna be life changing and it's gonna be tools that I will continue to use for the rest of my life. And so I say do it. There's things that Emily can teach you that will let you apply this model, one of the models that she'll teach you, to any situation
Mhm.
so that you can then manage your own decisions and your own life situations. And so I feel that it's been completely valuable and worth it to me because it was not a one time, okay, it helped with the situation I was in right now. It's an ongoing thing. And I really appreciate that.
Oh my gosh. Thank you, Lindy. Thank you for taking the time to share that with people. I know a lot of people appreciate that.
Of course.
All right, girl. Thank you so much. Such kind words. You're so sweet. It's nice